And welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3. Once again, we've made it to Tartarus, and we've got quite the bit of expedition to go ahead for us, so I think it's time to bring in our most experienced members. We're going to be going with the original C's squad, Shinji, Mitsuru, and Akihiko for most of this, though I'll probably tag in a few of my other party members for boss fights as they come up, since we got quite a few new abilities that I'd like to demonstrate when the opportunity arises. Before we head up, I do want to go over a couple things with my Persona situation. I did some fusions here and cleared out some stuff that I need to get into the compendium. I created Incubus, Nganga, and Lachesis. And Lachesis I took and fused into a Hanuman to create Quetzalcoatl. Now, Quetzalcoatl is actually pretty important here. I don't want to equip him, but just to emphasize his presence, note that he has the Growth 3 skill. This is a buff that this persona got in the transition to Reload. In FES and Portable, he merely has Growth 2. I don't have access to Growth 3 cards in Reload yet, so fusing this guy around is a good way to get that skill on the things that I might not have any immediate plans to use, but they might learn good skills via level up. That I won't just get purely through creating them with fusion bonus. Let me get Vasaki back on because they have my auto buffs. Other things that I would like to note, I'm going in more prepared this time. I have a Sailor kitted out with all the elemental spells and Life Aid so that I can passively regenerate my SP here. What was another thing that I had another thing that was on the forefront of my mind. Oh, right. I've got an Arcana Burst already. I just cleared out some floors in Yabasha. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the Justice Major Arcana, but I was able to, get Arcana Burst secured, so we're going to be getting more valuable cards going forward. I'm not going to be able to pull two of them, but that's not a big deal. Mostly I'm going to be focusing on getting money tonight, so I can continually use the compendium to create new personae. Also, I've cleared a request for Elizabeth, so let's take a look at that. Let's see, create a persona that's level 46 or above. I've fulfilled that with Aplom. And we get Atrophying Sutras for our efforts. Very nice, very nice. We'll be able to complete more or less all of these by the time we're done. One other notable mistake that I made is that I did not get a rarity fortune coming into... Oh, Elizabeth's got something else for me. I apologize if this is becoming repetitive, but I'd like to ask you to escort me once more. This time, could you take me to the Gekkoukan High School you attend? If you have the time after school, please come by and let me know. Okay, we've got the next Elizabeth date. I would also like to note that when I talked to her off-screen, she also handed me over 4 Twilight Fragments, which is always appreciated. Now, let's just go over things that are going on in Persona 3 FES and Portable and begin our expedition. Before we get into our expedition proper, I may as well go over what I'm doing in Persona 3 FES, because for this batch of Tartarus exploration videos, we actually will not be seeing too much of FES, but I will be going into the 4th block with Ken, Yukari, and Junpei in tow. Ken, because he is just very effective for some of the upcoming boss fights with Gibalg equipped, and I want to level him up anyway. Yukari and Junpei, they're purely here just because I'd like to get them some experience. I'd love to bring Shinjiro along, but he's not particularly effective against the upcoming boss fights, so I don't really feel it would be too valuable to bring him, though I do plan to train him alongside Akihiko once I'm done with the proper exploration. In fact, since I can rotate out people at this stage of the game that are tired with completely fresh people, there is essentially no reason for me not to catch up people who are falling behind in levels if I'm feeling ambitious enough to do so after my exploration. I would also like to note that this is probably the last batch of Tartarus expeditions in FES where I'm going to be mixing up my team composition at all. Going forward, after the next full Moon Shadow is taken care of, I'm going to have a pretty consistent team lineup that I'm going to be using for, basically everything else we have to deal with in Persona 3 FES. I'll be more committed to variety in Reload, though. With that established, oh, and also I accepted all of the material requests from Elizabeth, plus the one to get the silver medal from a rare form, since we're finally up to the block where we can actually collect that. Okay, now with that taken care of, let's go over what's going on in Portable, and then continue our exploration. Beginning our Persona 3 FES montage, you know, I've just never really shown off these gates clearing across all different versions too much, so I figured I'd do that here. I don't know why, I just think this looks cool. Anyway. For Portable, I actually have a surprisingly large amount of things to say, in spite of the fact that we always use the same team in this version. Now, for the first time in a long while, I actually did some equipment purchases. One thing that I didn't get a chance to show off in the videos is that we actually did get an inventory upgrade or new stock with Officer Kurosawa, and he's now selling the Gigaband line of accessories. These give a incredible plus 10 to their relevant stat. Obviously very nice for Aegis that we can boost her strength by 10, even though it's only a relatively smaller boost since she had the plus 5 from the Mega Power Band. I also picked up a few Giga Guard Bands, because that is a considerable amount of N to place on your characters, which will come in handy for fights where I could potentially take a ton of damage. I also bought some new armors. Specifically, I got a Robe of Warding for Mitsuru, because her, I think it was her winter outfit, was starting to become a bit outdated. And the SP wasn't terribly useful. I also bought a new armor for Aegis, her Sky Sundress. We could have gotten something that's marginally stronger, but not by enough that I think that it isn't worth to pass up on the opportunity to change her aesthetics a little bit. Yukari is just running the same stuff as usual, but she is more than likely going to slap on one of those Giga Guard Bands for upcoming boss fights. The other notable thing that I'd like to draw attention to is Nadataishi and Eligor. I hit them with some of the Growth 3 cards that I've been duping, so that they'll be gaining experience at a full rate, regardless of whether or not I'm using them. I also picked up a couple of sword cards to pump up Ares' strength a little bit more once I actually feel there is a good reason to do so, and the good reason to do so is once Nadataishi hits level 42, I'll have that Herculean Strike card. I can put that onto Ares, and that is double the strength of Gale Slash, so that'll be a huge power increase for Ares, and just a good amount of strike damage all around. We're not going to be seeing too much of Persona 3 Portable in this first video, because I'll be reserving most of the screen time for it when we get into the second half of this current section of the new block, but for right now, mostly what we're going to see from Portable is just the boss fight. May as well show the way opening in Portable also. One funny thing to note here is I actually walked my way back to this floor, even though I could have just floor jumped to it. Again, playing so many different versions of the same game can really screw with your knowledge of what you can do and which one. This area ends here. Now there's a dead end, but you should be able to get past it. Could you check? Well, I see no reason not to. And yes, once again, the path forward has opened. And since we've cleared 2 portions of Yabasha, I think you can understand that probably we've got a brand new block waiting for us past this. Looks like the shaking has subsided. Is everyone alright? The path towards the staircase has opened up. You can advance further now. We don't know what's waiting ahead, so please be careful going forward.
Let's go.
We're going to the next floor right. Don't let your guard down. Okay, I trust you, Shinji, with your rather sizable bus stop sign there.
Trust you're not tired? Then let's be off.
I'm just getting started, Mitsuru. That was a lengthy load there. Alright, starting things off, we've got blue sigils. These guys, well actually, very conveniently, they're just weak to strike type damage, making them basically just fodder for Akihiko and Shinji. Just one isn't going to be that much of a threat. Easy all-out attack. Honestly, I should have passed to Shinji so that we could have gotten his all-out attack on. And hey, well, I already have Yaxi, but there's nothing else interesting here, so may as well get her for fusion purposes. We'll definitely want to stock up on Persona. We're going to be grabbing a lot of levels through here. Also, one thing to note, I got the Devil card, so the treasures I'm getting from these pedestals are going to be doubled, so I want to smash any that I see. Also note that the Devil card also applies to pedestals that contain Twilight Fragments. So, those are, we were going to be getting double from those. Let's see, these are Ill-Fated Mayas. These guys are weak to Slash type and Fire, so we're just going to whack these guys upside the head. I'm going to have Mitsuru take a quick slash here. Mitsuru actually gained a level while I was grabbing stuff off-screen, doing Monad doors, so she has access to Neuroblade now. I traded out Fatal End for that because it's just flatly better. We can use Blade of Fury with Shinji here, and this should set us up. Blade of Fury, even if all of its hits connect, it is just flatly weaker than Heat Wave, but when these things are weak to it, I should have gone with Fatal End, honestly. I didn't think it would be that strong. Shinji is a pretty tough dude. But yeah, I was trying to get him to do the all-out attack there so we could see his cut-in, but unfortunately did not get that. But we're going to be doing tons of fights, and we've already confirmed that there are multiple physical weak enemies in this section of Tartarus, so I'll be able to get that sooner or later. Definitely going to fight as many things as I can moving forward, because I do want to get a lot of money. As I said before, we're going to want to clear out a lot of stuff in the compendium. We're actually just about at 50% completion. You know, I was going to continue my train of thought once I was finished with this encounter, but I kind of lost it. But more importantly than that, we have a setup for getting an all-out attack with Shinji here, so we get to see his end of battle card, which I think would just be swell. So let's take a look at that. Of course, gotta get the shuffle time first. It's always slightly janky. You know what? Actually, nah, I need the money. I would like to get level ups for Yaxini, but it's not super pressing. Mass destruction. Don't waste your breath. Good stuff, good stuff.
That certainly went well.
One nice thing, I'm not running Yukari around, but I can use a diorama here. I'm actually going to do something a little bit counterintuitive. I'm gonna switch, if I'm not getting through the protagonist turns anyway, I got a bunch of Fizz weak enemies, I may as well switch to Seiryu and make sure that I'm getting the life aid. Could also switch to Quetzalcoatl, because I made sure to get that onto him. Hey, wait a second, is that Bunkichi? I'm getting the reading of a person. Please go secure them right away. Indeed, Bunkichi is one of our social link connections that got lost in Tartarus. If you do not rescue him this month, the link will be broken, you get no benefit from it, and obviously you cannot advance it, so be sure to rescue them. This is another thing that was added to add a little bit of friction in Persona 3 Portable, and honestly, I actually think this is a pretty good idea. This is quite the shift in atmosphere. It's more like ruins this time. Just like before, the enemies are stronger than they were below here. Stay sharp.
Oh, there's a treasure chest.
I really hope I can remember what I was trying to say. I feel like it was something important, but it's not the end of the world if I don't remember it immediately. We've only got 22 Twilight Fragments to work with, which is not as many as I'd like, but it should be enough. Honestly, it's okay if we don't get the Great Clock just right away. It's probably better to get those when we've already had a chance to explore a bit and actually get some levels for our team. Alright, we've got another new enemy here. We've got the Death Twins. Let's see, these guys are weak to light. But with Mitsuru in the party, and a decently crit skill in Gigantic Fist, and these enemies hit with Distress, which already passively boosts your crit rate, it's quite easy to set these guys up for a critical. And yeah, that's a demonstration of Mitsuru's crit bonus effect in play. Distress gives you a 60% chance to get a crit. Mitsuru adds 15% onto that, flatly additive, with her Ailment Surge ability, and Akihiko has a decently reliable critical skill in Gigantic Fist there, so it is incredibly unlikely that that thing would not get hit with a critical hit there with all the things that we've got going against it. Alright, get a level up for Yakshini. I'm surprised how low level she is in this version. She's a much higher level in the older versions of the game. Anyways, we've got to save Bunkichi here. I would love to escort him back myself, but it's probably best we continue on and not break our pace too much. I'm on my way, just a sec. Take good care of him, Yukari. He's a friend. Sorry to keep you waiting. You can leave the rest to me. Alright, with Bunkichi rescued, we don't have to worry about his social link breaking. Don't worry, we'll keep them safe at the entrance until you decide to leave for the night. If you find any more missing people, please rescue them as quickly as you can. No problem, Fuka, no problem. Alright, let's continue on over here and slap this guy. I got a level up here for Seiryu, and he learned Tetrakarn, which I don't care about. We're just going to drop that. Hey, I'm ready to drop. That actually could be pretty handy. Hey, level up for Shinji. Now he has Counter-Strike. Ooh, he's going to learn Regenerate 3 next level up. That'll be really nice for him. Regenerate 3 restores 6% of your HP per turn, which isn't a huge amount, but what happened? It's too dark to make anything out. The entire floor is pitch black. Use your map and tread carefully. So, we gotta be careful of the darkness. Thankfully, unlike Portable, the enemies here do not react to our presence. Oh, look at that! There may be items worth gathering on this floor, so keep an eye out. On darkness floors in Persona 3 Reload, they have an incredibly high chance of spawning in Twilight Fragment pedestals. As you can see, with the Devil card in effect there, I just got 4 Twilight Fragments. Oh, over there. Be careful, you're not alone. It's hard to see anything in this darkness, but that goes for the enemy as well. While exploring your periphery may occasionally become shrouded in a darkness known as the Dark Zone. With your vision obscured, you'll need to use your map to find your way around. Fortunately, enemies can't detect you either, so you can take your time to look for the stairs to the next floor. Breakable objects are also guaranteed to contain a twilight fragment, so don't be deterred by the darkness and take your time exploring. Yes, darkness floors are actually a very good thing here. Not only can the enemies not see us, we also don't have to worry about not being able to see the map. Floors are a bit more logically laid out in Persona 3 Reload, and I'm just going to keep continuing my thought here. Which is good, because we got a new enemy here. Let me just take a look at my handy-dandy bestiary here. We've got, or is it bestiary? Let's get that mixed up. Let's see, this is a Constancy Relic. They are weak to ice. Perfect for Mitsuru, so we'll just hit this thing with a slap. And just continue on. But yeah, the big thing about these floors is the Twilight Fragments. The one thing you have to watch out for is that you do have a reduced timer for the Reaper on these floors. So do not lollygag while you are on these floors. You want to move quickly and get everything you can before you run into some serious trouble. Man, we are getting so many Yakshini cards here. Yeah, whatever. It's an opportunity to level her up, see if she learns anything interesting. If nothing else, it makes her better fusion material, since the more skills she has, the more skills she can produce for inheritance. Especially because Empress, as an Arcana, generally fuses into some more interesting Arcanas. Hey, we've got another rare form over here. We'll definitely want to hit this guy. Opulent Hand is conveniently weak to strike-type skills, so just have Akihiko give him a quick punch. We're going to pass on over to Shinji here, and we'll just have him Heat Wave this enemy formation to death. It's not gonna... Well, maybe I should have used Blade of Fury to actually continue the assault. Whatever, we can just shift off to him again in order to get another Heat Wave out. Heat Wave is pretty expensive, but with Mediarama and Divine Grace in the protagonist's back pocket, we're able to keep Shinji topped off. Ooh, we got 2 sumptuous coins there. Very nice.
Come on, let's get going.
Ooh, and another. We're just getting swamped with new stuff here. Another strong shadow. This guy is weak to light and dark, so nothing too scary here. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have Akihiko fish for a crit, which he got. Let's see. That is... Yeah, let's actually go for the all-out attack here. Why not? It's actually really surprising that we got the crit there, but much appreciated, obviously. Okay, 206, not great damage. Let's hit this guy with the Rakunda, and we will then just blast him with Makoha. Let's see. I'll have to think carefully about how I want to approach this. Then with the Makoha. And I think what I'm going to do here is down him, and then we're going to pass over the Shinji here, and we're going to have him fire off his Theurgy. We want to do as much damage to this guy as possible. Now that he's on the ground also, we'll just get so much more damage from Shinji. This is probably going to deal about 1,400 damage. Oh my goodness, Shinji, leave some for the rest of us. But that is excellent there. Alright, let's see what this guy's got us. Let's see, Thunderbird. I want to take a look at all these. Myriad Arrows. Ooh, that's tempting. You know what? I'm going to take that. The money isn't that big a deal. Ooh, and some emeralds. We actually do need some emeralds for an upcoming quest, so very good that we're getting some of those now.
Now then, let's get back to work.
Forgot that the Garulu had access to Growth 1, so he might periodically get some levels here and there. Just some more nice stuff for us. Well, we're just continuing on. One of my big goals. Now I remember what I was going to say. I knew it would come back to me, but our compendium completion is almost at 50%. That gets us another discount, but once it gets to 60%, that'll also get us an upgrade for the protagonist characteristic, which would be very nice to have.
That certainly went well.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm always glad when things come back to me. Well, I, of course, want to keep doing Medioramas. But yeah, now you're seeing the value of Life Aid. When the protagonist doesn't need to act, it just gives him... We've secured the area. Do you want to send someone out to scout ahead? You know, I actually didn't check to see if there's a, Monad passage on this floor, or Monad door. Oh, Akihiko robbed the chest that was right in front of me. Looks like he cleared out everything that we needed to get, so why don't we just go straight to the next floor? You always want to be aware of Monad doors on the floor. You don't want to send off your scouts and not be able to take on... Ooh, wow. That's a good haul there. Every 7 card we get for coin gives us about 4,800 yen. Hey, there's the Monad door. And that extra 5,000 yen there is also much appreciated. We need, everything that I'm pulling out of the compendium at this point costs about between 25 and 30k yen. So,
And I'm your man.
oh, for sure, Shinji, for sure. So, getting, like, every 5 or 6 cash payouts I get should allow me to pull another thing out of the compendium, which is very helpful.
Went off without a hitch. Let's get going.
Not exactly, Akihiko. That was a pretty rough battle that I got into there, because unfortunately Shinji did not get the crit on it that just immediately deleted it. So always take those things as seriously as possible. You want to treat them like actual boss fights, because they can utterly destroy you if you're not careful. And hey, another new enemy here, Tranquil Idol. Let me just get the exact thing that this is weak to. It is weak to Pierce and Wind. A pretty easy selection of stuff for me to hit there, but also Akihiko just getting a crit on it. Yeah, this is where Mitsuru's Ailment Surge is really good for. It's just so easy to just cheat out critical hits and get all-out attacks to open things up. It's just very nice to have for general exploration. Let's see, I've already had a Virtue. Let me see here. Do you know what? I think my... oh, never mind. I should have just let this thing go. You know what? Fortuna is useless. We'll be able to get another... Fortune persona when we just go back out. It's generally not hard to have enough money to just buy things as you need them for social links. There's our Monad door over there. I'm just gonna smash these things before I forget. Alright, while I'm thinking of it, we're not really doing anything too important. One thing I want to mention about darkness floors is that when you're traveling back through previously cleared sections of Tartarus, it is possible, and I'm actually going to do some quick setup here to make sure we go into this with a good thing here. We want to, of course, have Fuka set up a Sylphid aura for us. Always do that, but yeah, the thing that I was mentioning about darkness floors is that when you are re-exploring previously cleared floors of Tartarus, you obviously don't get new treasure, but previously explored floors can generate as darkness floors when you are re-exploring. So always keep your eyes open for that, and definitely if you have the Devil card, that is a great way to get more Twilight Fragments. Alright, we got the Grand Magus here. We don't know what this guy is capable of, though. Always take enemies seriously when you don't fully know what they're capable of doing. I'm always going to start off and just hit them with debuffs. Okay, this guy's using Megidola. Not anything I'm too scared about. We'll just, yeah, go all in on debuffs here. All the characters that I really want to deal big damage, of course, the protagonist and Shinji, they're coming into this already with good stuff. So let me see here. I want to, yeah, we'll go with, I'll say here, because he can just deal, he has a great chance of dealing a critical hit. Didn't get one there, but that's not a big deal. We'll have Shinji set up the Bloody Charge here. And coming back around to Akihiko's turn, we should be able to scan this thing and figure out what it's weak to. Oh, wow, conveniently, it is weak to strike skills. This is about to end very badly for it. I've just set up Shinji with a Bloody Charge, so his Heat Wave going to deal some serious damage to this poor fool. And he's under 50% health, so he oh no, I think he's just barely over that threshold, actually. Not bad. Look at that. Not even a Theurgy. Shinji is the man. That's great stuff. Okay, let's see here. You know, I actually am kind of tempted to take Dakini here. But I think she already has all the skills she can learn, so that wouldn't be that helpful. Let's go with the money. Sadly, Monad bosses, they don't actually give that good experience, so it's not that big of a help. One level that I'm looking for the protagonist is level 47. Not because that really leads to anything valuable, but it will let me fuse off Vasaki into a higher level persona that I think would be just pretty interesting to show off. Let's get out of here. We also got some Ergotite shards there, which will allow us to get some pretty interesting equipment once we're able to return to the antique store. Unfortunately, since we're doing another last day of the month Tartarus expedition, which honestly, I think I should make some modifications to my schedule going forward, just to avoid that kind of thing. This means that we're not going to be able to, sensing a high-level threat on the next floor, make sure you're ready. We're not going to be able to do any resupplying before we go to deal with the full moon shadow. Which honestly I do feel like is a bit of a problem with the game itself. Fuka sets his enemy on a higher floor, But yeah, I think that's kind of a silly thing with the game itself, where you can't do any shopping on the day of a full moon. I think that's something they should have changed for Reload. I'm going to do some quick preparations, and we're going to hit our first Persona 3 FES and portable boss while I'm setting up. Just doing some fusion here. I'm taking the Yakshini I got and fusing into a Thoth that I had kicking around in order to create a Kukulin. Not as important as he is in Persona 3 FES, but still useful enough. I guess I'll just give him some physical skills. I'm putting Masuku Kaja onto him so I can have access to more things that are capable of using all of the buff spells. I'd like to have a dedicated persona in my back pocket, ideally something with good resistances that just has access to all the buffs, so I have an easy way to set those up as I need them in battles. And also, Kukulin gets some interesting skills here. Free Magarula, which, actually, I am going to keep Deikaja. That could be helpful. Never mind, we'll get rid of that. Hey, he also learns Myriad Arrows, and we got the Fetching Heroes comb from him. Good stuff. I'm also just quickly doing a fusion with Vasuki. I'm going to pull him right back out of the compendium because I still need him, but I may as well also create this... let's see, Mataru Kaja, Madaraki Kaja, very good. This Shikioji, while I'm at it, we'll give him Life Aid, since that's always a useful thing to have, and, I don't know, just put maybe Arama as another thing in the back pocket. As one last interesting thing I can fuse, I'm going to take Quetzalcoatl and fuse him into the Shikioji that I just created in order to create White Rider. Looks pretty interesting, and actually, yes, this will get a guy that has all of the, buff spells for me, so that's pretty helpful there. I'll also put Life Aid onto him, since, actually no. Let's put Ooh, that's a tough decision there. What would be more useful to pass around? No, let's give him Growth 3. Starting off our enemy montage here, we've got Blue Sigils. These guys have pretty potent ice magic. In fact, they have Bufudine, which can be pretty hazardous to your health. They have 260 HP, so they're pretty sturdy also. But I'm not overly concerned about them. They are weak to dark attacks, but as you can see, a critical Herculean strike from Nadataishi is not a bad way to dispatch them. Our next enemies here are the ill-fated Mayas, and these guys, very conveniently, are weak to wind attacks. So with Ebolg and Toll, I can just whack these guys with my spear repeatedly. If I had the Bayou Bracers equipped, this would probably be enough to insta-kill all of these, but I want to have the accuracy bonus from the speed enhancer to make sure I'm not whiffing constantly, so that's just the kind of sacrifice you have to make. These guys are also weak to elect skills if you have those at your disposal, which you probably have something with Mazio, Mazianga. Obviously, at this point, anything you come across is pretty easily dispatched with an all-out attack if they have a weakness for you to exploit. I'm mostly going to be looking for wand cards in my exploration here, as the EXP coming from enemies is quite high at this stage of the game, and we need a lot of it to catch up Yukari and Junpei. Also an opportunity to get some new Personae when I don't have that as an option to pick. Next up, we have Tranquil Idols. These guys nullify fire, repel light, and are weak to dark. I just simply don't have any good dark attack options at this point, so mostly I'm just going to cut the knot on these kinds of enemies, use Herculean Strike to deal big damage. As you can see, my party members are more than adequate enough to finish them off with their basic attacks here. Yeah, that's a good example of why I like Ken so much. Next up, we have Constancy Relics. These guys are weak to fire and are, let's see here, they nullify wind. So Gibalg, not much of a help to us here. Fortunately, I've got an Orthrus kicking around who is an easy source of fire damage, so we'll just blast away, blast away. I can hopefully turn this Orthrus into a different persona later, because he comes with a fire boost by default, and I can use that to power up something that will have Agidine. We can also encounter Champion Knights in Tzia, but they are exactly like they were in the previous block, so not very threatening at this stage of the game. In fact, I think they might even be slightly weaker in terms of HP, so nothing I'm too overly concerned about.
There are two strong enemies. Attack!
Over here we have the strong shadows for the first half of Tzia, the Hakuro Musha, and these guys are very, very dangerous, highly evasive towards all physical attacks due to having the dodge passives, and their only weakness are light and dark skills. Now that actually works out pretty well for us with Ken on the team, because he has I believe he has Hamon at this point, so that's actually pretty consistent in Persona 3 FES, but it's decidedly less so in Persona 3 Portable. Fortunately, I got good luck there with Virtue's Mahama. Now, I actually want to show this off, and ideally we get a wand card here, please. Yes, a 6 right there. Gotta keep my eyes on it. Okay, that was nice and easy. Check this out. These guys are EXP Pinatas. They are a level... What was that? Well, we didn't get to see it. I think it's like a level 54 shadow? I got them in my notes here somewhere. Oh god, I just went right past them. Where are they? Well, whatever. Their level is in the 50s. Yes, level 54. So they give out ludicrous amounts of experience at this stage of the game. Getting a wand card like that is a fantastic way to just see your entire party level up all at once. Just like that.
Yes, my skill level has increased. Yes, my skill level has increased.
Ta-da-da-da! I'm the man!
I just had to let everyone say that. Okay, moving on. Another new enemy over here is the Killer Drives. These guys are weak to light skills. Ken gets a lot of mileage out of Hamon in this section of Tartarus, so pretty good to have him on hand for when you need stuff to, or you need light skills to take out guys like the Killer Drive, but perhaps you don't have something that has access to Hamon. I'll definitely want to pick up something that has Hamon for myself in Persona 3 FES. Insta-kills are pretty useless in, what is it? Reload and Portable, and I'm just gonna go for a normal attack there. But they are very, very useful in FES, so definitely keep it in mind that you'll want them for the stuff that are weak to them, because they, especially the tier 2 ones, if you have the boost, they work very, very consistently. Granted, we seem to have this guy on the rope with conventional attacks anyway, so not super big deal right now. Another unique enemy here, the Arcane Turret. This guy nullifies strike and pierce attacks and is weak to elect. He has over 1,000 HP, so it's quite a bit of an endeavor to take him down, but fortunately we've got so much weapon power here that our all-out attacks should deal some pretty good damage to him. Now I just actually have to find something that has Elec, and I was right, Kukulin did have Mazionga still. I did not foolishly get rid of that skill, so this is just a matter of blasting him with Mazionga, and then going in for the all-out attack. Let's see how much damage that does. Also note that he's shocked now, and since he's not immune to slash attacks, Junpei could also potentially get a crit on him to set up for an all-out attack. Remember, it is a 100% success rate in Persona 3 FES and Portable for crits on the shock status, so that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Not terrible damage from Junpei at all there. This guy is level 46 actually, so he should also be a pretty good source of experience, provided I get a wand card. Also completed Theodore's request for the item from the rare shadows, or the strong shadows for this block of Tartarus. I actually couldn't take all of his item requests because I still have Igus's oil request cluttering up my request log. They're perfect for use with a katana. Not many things are both beautiful and functional as these are. About the reward, I've prepared something different for you this time. A simple yet sturdy metal frame with a small lettering on the placard. I believe it's called a bus stop sign. I heard that all in your world, they can be found all over the place. I'd like to see some of these signs in their natural habitat someday. Something that we've got Shinji rocking over in Reload. Just wanted to make sure I commented on that before I passed it by. And after a little bit more exploration, I actually came across a floor that was just nothing but rare forms, allowing me to easily get the silver medal to turn into Theo, and I'm just going to see his reaction to it, just on the off chance it's different to Elizabeth. I'm surprised you were able to obtain it from the opulent hand. The reward I've selected for you is rather unique. It's too small for a human to use, but it's just right for man's best friend. I'm sure your canine companion will find it both mouthwatering and effective. Please take this as your reward. Unfortunately, the bone is not going to see much use in this version of the game.
There's someone on this floor. Find them, please.
And reaching floor 120, we actually find our first person to rescue in Persona 3 Portable. So let me just locate them real quick. Oh god. It's Bunkichi, looking a little tired, but unharmed. Let's bring him back in. Remember that if you do not rescue him here, the Hierophant link will become broken and you will no longer benefit from it. Of course, saving him is its own reward. thing that happened to me is that I got a floor with floor with nothing but rare forms on it, and one interesting thing to note is, in addition to much higher level money cards that are cursed, of course, they also have a chance to produce high leveled sword cards, allowing you to get weapons much more powerful than you normally would be able to access at this stage of the game, if you're willing to take the risk of the curse. You know what? I already know where the exit is, and I already defeated one of these, so I got 2 opulent coins lined up. Let's take this 8 and see what we get. Death draws near, then we get a Blood Baknak, which is a Akihiko weapon, so that is a complete waste. I just put myself at risk for no reason. As per usual, we will be starting out our video boss rush with the boss fight in Persona 3 FES. One thing that's notable about this is that we're fighting a bunch of arcane turrets, which are obviously, as bosses, distinct from the enemies that we encountered throughout Tzia, but this is actually, I think, the only time in the game where you can encounter the enemy variant of a Tartarus boss before you actually fight the Tartarus boss. Before we get into it, I got a couple interesting pickups here, some pretty powerful ones as well. Succubus. I used a triangle spread of Incubus, Omitsunu, and I think it was Leon's Seed. It was some junk that I got from Shuffle Time, so that wasn't too important. But I was able to get her with Fire Boost, and through her maxed out Social Link, she picked up Null Light to nullify her Dart or her Light weakness, making her a surprisingly decent defensive persona. But yeah, the Fire Boost Agidyne is the main reason I wanted her, and having access to Mudon is also going to be very helpful. I also picked up Dominion. I used Nandi to create him by fusing him into... oh geez, what did I fuse him into? There's another thing I got from Shuffle Time. Well, it doesn't really matter too much. I fused Nandi off to create a Dominion who has Cool Breeze and Marakukaja, and he has the only weakness I have to concern myself with is a Darkness weakness, which he eventually patches out if you get him to level 49. I'm not too concerned about that in the upcoming boss fight, and he's solidly defensive for me with what he's got here. Mainly, I just wanted something with Marakukaja that did not have an elemental weakness. I'm going to be entering with Kukulin because he has Auto Sukukaja, and I'm going to be using Gibog plus the Vayu Bracers on the protagonist to get the most out of those. I'm not going to be giving Vayu Bracers to Yukari. I've got her with a Vitality Ring instead. That should help her be a little bit more survivable. It's also why she has just a little bit more HP than Ken does at this point. With all that established, let's get into the fight.
No ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
Indeed, Fuka, indeed. Anyways, this is, the first half of Tzia is basically the last time any Tartarus bosses are going to be posing any serious threat to me throughout the rest of the game. Once we get past this point, we're going to get personas that are just so strong that what the bosses are capable of doing really isn't going to matter that much. But I do want to take these guys seriously. They're resistant to most physical attacks, so Shinji is right out here, and they have specific elemental resistances. I believe they're immune to fire. I can scroll to my notes just to make sure. But they are critically not resistant to wind, so that helps us out quite a bit with Ken and the protagonist using Gibog here. There we go. Very good damage for Ken there. These guys hit hard, so I want to make sure I have Marakukaja going as much as possible. I'm going to have Yukari on healing. She doesn't have Mediarama yet, but as long as she is casting Dia on somebody, that'll help us out a little bit. Junpei, unfortunately, does not have much he can do here, but I don't really have anyone else that can do too much for me here. That is unfortunate, but that is not the end of the world. Okay, let me think here. Yukari is going to go before these guys. She's on heal support. Nobody has taken any HP damage. That's fine. One of those used a Mind Charge here, so I'm going to up a Magic Mirror. This will make sure that nobody gets deleted. I've got so many magic mirrors. It's a good idea to make use of these. The main thing that's going to determine if I up another magic mirror is if the protagonist's barrier gets broken. Remember, he's the only one we care about if his stuff gets destroyed. They also are immune to Elect, so that is an option off the table right there. Oh, and, oh, hey, he accidentally panicked himself. Oh dear, that's especially unfortunate. That sucks. What do I want to do here? I have to think carefully about how I want to approach this. We don't have any attacks inbound, so you know what? I'm going to take this one out, just get it out of the picture. We have one less to worry about. Yukari's going to make Patra again, since nobody is damaged. Remember, Yukari will prioritize restoring HP if anybody... Oh, God, Junpei, why'd you attack that one? Okay, here comes another eerie sound. Main reason I'm okay with this, here we go. That's what I was worried about. That's unfortunate. Oof, that is some nasty, nasty damage there. Okay, yeah, now we're going to have to take this a little bit more serious. Okay, let's get our defense back up. There's no mind charge in effect, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Although I might have made a mistake here by not purging the panic from myself, because Yukari is going to prioritize bringing Junpei back up. So we've got something scary coming up now. Okay, mind charge, that's good, that's good. That was a bit sloppy there. Here comes another eerie sound. Yeah, what I'm gonna do here is another magic mirror. And I'm actually going to set Ken to heal and support, so that he'll heal up Junpei, and that ideally should get Yukari to go for, what is it? Mepatra instead. I'm going to assign Junpei the target of this arcane turret. Ideally, he'll go to try and wing the crit on it, which would help us out quite a bit. And now I'll up this magic mirror. Worst case scenario, that's going to get just deflected with a eerie sound spell, but I'm perfectly okay with that if that happens. Actually got really lucky in the turn order for Yukari here. This helps out quite a bit that she's this specific spot to make sure that we can counter the eerie sound before it becomes a problem. Unfortunately, did not get the crit there, but that's not a huge deal. Okay, Ken's barrier is gone. That's well within the parameters for what's going on here. I don't really care about that. Alright, now we should be fine to just go on the offensive here, so I'm going to take out this one, or at least attempt to take it out. Ken will get the finish, and we shouldn't have too much to worry about here. This fight gets much, much easier the more of these guys you take out. I did have some execution errors going through this one, but fortunately I did not make the worst decisions possible. Okay, yeah, honestly, we should be fine to just continue. Yukari will heal me there, so I'm not worried about the damage, really. Oh crap, I still got Ken on heal support. Well, okay, that's not a big deal. That also helps. That's valuable in its own way. Thank you, Ken. Now, granted, I could get really unlucky and a critical hit could come out here, but I'm just going to hope that doesn't happen. Big damage for Yukari, but because she had the Vitality Ring there, she is A-okay. That is the reason why I want the Vitality Ring. Yukari is very fragile, so she would not have been able to survive that without it. And before we get into the rest of the battles, our prize is well, actually 2 Balm of Lives for this one. Not bad, not bad. Anyways, I'm going to be doing my usual routine in FES, trying to get to the next checkpoint as best I can, and then I will bail out at that point. Alright, time for the fight in Portable, and this one's gonna be, interesting. I don't exactly have a great composition for this, and I've made a bit of a mistake in not fusing a Sun Persona into a fused weapon, or making a Sun Persona weapon fusion for Mitsuru at this point, meaning that I could patch out her weakness, but I do not have that ability at this moment. Whoopsie. That will screw me over a bit more later rather than here, but speaking of a Sun Persona, I do have someone who will help me out quite a bit here. Quetzalcoatl is very helpful for this fight in this version of the game. I was able to fuse him with an Order Boss. I think my fusion spread was Nandi, Orobas, and Mothman to create him with Wind Boost. He's got Magarula, Innate Marakukaja, and I was able to get Garterdine onto him to sweeten the pot. And then I pulled my Nandi back out of the compendium. I had to do this twice for him because he proved to be a pretty valuable fusion component, so that drained most of my money, but that's not going to matter too much because we've got a ton of stuff to sell. Let's not get too lost in the sauce here. Let's get into this battle and see what I can do. I know you can win, but be careful. I'll try.
This is no ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
Boy, you said it, Fuka. Anyways, the obvious thing to start out here is we want to use Marakukaja on our party, and ideally keep this going as much as we can to minimize the damage coming in from them. One very good thing to know, let me just do scan the arcane turret here, and let me just remark on the one thing that is very helpful for us coming into this fight, is that we have a good supply of magic mirrors, so that will allow me to mitigate the worst of what these guys can do. Okay, Mitsuru is of course vulnerable here because these guys have fire magic, but as long as a magic mirror is in effect, she's not too badly affected by this, and I did not know these guys were weak to ice. Hey, there was a bit of an inefficiency in my notes there. I really didn't use Mitsuru up to this point in Persona 3 FES, because she's just not that good. That's annoying, but not a big deal. We can live with that. Now, let's see here. Yukari, you can just do Magaru on these guys. Yukari, I got her up to the point where she has,
Defeat it.
what is it? Media Ram had her spells, sorry. I had a serious brain fart there and could not remember what I was trying to say. Okay, so our defenses are quite weak here. Mitsuru having, being able to down these guys, though, helps out quite a bit. So let's see here. Do these guys nullify Pierce? I just want to check out my options here. Oh, I can't actually see what these guys are immune or vulnerable to. So we'll just have I guess do a Pierce attack. Okay, that actually does work. Okay. And she now knows what these guys are vulnerable to because that information has been fed to her. We're just actually going to, for once, we're actually going to just down all these guys. Give ourselves a chance to get a grasp on the fight here. Mitsuru's SP is getting a little low, but that's not a big deal. I'm not overly concerned about that. Alright, let's do this. Nice, that's good damage there. Okay, I was really concerned about how this fight was gonna go, but I think we've actually already got this in the bag. This should deal some pretty great damage because we've got Wind Boost augmenting it from, yeah, okay. Well, okay, I was really worried about how this one was gonna go, but this is actually going just fine, just fine. Let's see here. I guess we'll just shoot one of them.
Spread shot.
Would be nice if I had a better attack at my disposal there. You know what? Actually, I'm just gonna have Mitsuru go for another Mabufula. A couple of these guys are gonna be getting back up, but one of them is already dead, so that's not a big concern to me. We still have the magic mirror in effect, so just depending on what it does. Okay, strike attack. That's a little painful, but not a big deal. Okay, we actually win. Wow, I did not expect that to go as cleanly as it did. I was really worried about this fight. I have reason to be concerned for the next one, though, and I'm actually already contemplating what I'm gonna do to handle that. Moving on to Reload, I've swapped out Akiko and Shinji for Ken and Magus. I have no idea if these two are optimal to bring along, but just for fun, I always just do the latest bits of review before I start these videos, and sometimes not even that. There's a powerful enemy up ahead.
Be careful.
Sorry, Fuku was actually saying most of that. I already started reading it. It's another gatekeeper floor, but this one seems more intimidating than anything we've faced so far. Focus on the weaknesses and remember your fundamentals. Plus, I can help too. Just say when and I'll be ready. And indeed, we always want to start with Sylphiodora here. This will especially help Aigis, who obviously really likes having the Sukukaja bonus in order to get the most out of her piercing skills. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. And I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Here it comes. Let's take it down. Alright, starting things off here. I'm not used to, it must be a floor that just forces the protagonist to go first. Let's see here. I think the most sensible thing to do starting off, and I have the completely wrong thing equipped, so the protagonist does not have his full set of auto buffs. That's okay, though. This actually works out because I want to cast Minotaur Kaja on the party anyway. As you can see, Aigis and Ken, since they've mostly just been pulling back and hanging out in the distance, they don't have their Theurgies ready yet. Let's see here. We've got their buff set up, but I think I've got some Deikaja rocks kicking around. Obviously, Ken also has Deikaja. I got one Deikaja gem, but I may as well get a head start on clearing that, so I'm not dealing with boosted defense. Sadly, Mitsuru does not have access to Marakuna yet, which is another option for countering that. Good dodge from the protagonist there, and now we can just have Aigis get right into it. She has myriad arrows at her disposal, which is very nice at this stage of the game. Should deal some pretty good damage here. Nice, look at that. Good stuff, good stuff. Especially now that we've, okay, Fear is a little bit unfortunate, but we've got Ken right here with the Dysphere in order to bring Aigis right back into the fight. Alright, now that the first turn is passed around, we can actually figure out what these guys are weak to. Strike, and, what I'm looking for here is I want to see what this one's also weak to. Let's see, this one is weak to Elect. So, what I'm going to do here, actually, is I'm going to switch over. Let's see, do I have anyone who's really good with Elect, or do I just have to stick to Seiryu for dealing Elect damage? Looks like I just have to stick to Seiryu, but at the very least, I've always got everything covered at this point. Of course, I dropped Akihiko from the roster at this point. Ken's here too, though. He has his Elect skills to work still. Not sure if I'll actually stick to those, but they are there at this moment in time. Let's switch over to Aegis here, and have her do a Swift Strike in order to capitalize on the strike weakness that is present here. Not going to be the most impressive damage that she can deal. Actually, that kind of works out amazingly. Let's just do another one. I can live with that. Nice, look at that damage. Do I want to go for the all-out attack? Let's see. That thing is probably just going to do a buff again. I'm not too concerned if Aegis bites it right here, so it's not a huge deal. That's one down. Let's see, Minotaur Kaja, yeah, that's not a big deal at all. Let's see here, so that one is going to go next. I don't know if I have any good option for attacking that one. I don't really want to waste Mitsuru. It's resistant to that. I could do a Neuro Slash. Let me see here. I'm just trying to think. Should I just use my Theurgy? What the heck, let's just use the Theurgy to kill it. It's probably overkill, but it's also fun, the fun kind of overkill, so let's go for it. Kaboom! There we go. Alright, and this one is finding itself in a very unenviable position. I'm just gonna have Aegis go for a cool attack here. If she kills it, great. If not, not a big deal. She got it. Good stuff. Alright, good amount of experience there, and with some Growth 3 present, our Personae and stock are also benefiting from that. Excellent. A perfect victory. All thanks to your precise order, Seller. Well, I'm just getting started. Night's young, Mitsuru. I admire your tenacity. That kind of drive will lead to further growth. Of course, I'll try to help out wherever I can. That said, please don't act recklessly. Now then, let's get back to business. Indeed, indeed. I could have Ken top us off, but I'll have the protagonist do it instead. Just a little bit more effective when he does it. Even though, Ken's not going to be doing too much. He's mostly going to be chilling back at the base here. This is a good opportunity to get some experience in for him. That isn't from a clock, though.
I don't plan on losing.
Continuing on to this one right here, let's just pop this open and get a Kami Misubi water. And use our Twilight Fragments here. We've got so many at this point, may as well make good use of them. To get a Ballistic Vest. Let's see, what a splendid piece of armor. Imagine it'd be more effective than what I'm currently using. Once again, I am always going to hammer this point in. I want to see what it does before I equip it. Like right here, I would have made Mitsuru worse if I gave it to her. That said, this would be quite good for Ken, actually. Honestly, I should probably keep it just to give it to somebody else, because I'm not going to be keeping Ken in the party for much longer, but just for fun, let's put it on him. And here we've got a tank. There's a powerful enemy up ahead.
Please be careful.
I plan to be, Fuka. Another fight with no rest in between. Guess all we can do is endure it. We'll tough it out together. I'm here to support you in any way I can. I sent someone on a higher floor. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I know, there are people to rescue. That's one of the big reasons we're here, Fuka. Anyways, another Sylphid Aura. We're gonna have to recover some of Fuka's SP when we get a chance. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. I'm always ready, Fuka. You worry too much. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, I don't really need the auto buffs if I'm going to use Sylphid's Aura anyways, because I'm just going to go to the protagonist in order to set up Minotaur Kaja on everyone anyway. This guy is probably resistant to physical attack, so it's going to be a slight bit of problems coming in. Nice! Good dodge from everybody there. Loaded 3 bullets. Probably resistant to most physical attacks, so it's not going to be too good for Aegis here. But we'll at least confirm that before I'm all doom and gloom. Oh, hey, actually no. So, Orgia mode might actually do us some good here. Let's hit this guy with the Zionga, just to see what it gets for us. Nothing too impressive, but that's not the end of the world. Let's next get our... where is White Rider out? And get the Minotaur Kaja on everyone. And the nice thing about this setup is that Aegis has Minotaur Kaja, so she can set that up for the party. And the protagonist also has Suku Kaja kicking around. Let's see, this guy is weak to wind, and as it happens, I've got a Gale Nagatama here. Why not make use of that? Alright, what I'm gonna do next is actually I'm going to just pass on over to Aegis, send her right into Orgia mode. This guy, yeah, it does display that. So, yeah, may as well just send Aegis. We got all these buffs and debuffs in effect. Aegis is going to deal good damage here. If this thing throws out any Elec attacks with those bullets, they're now going to be no threat to Aegis. 349 damage, not bad. If we can get to her when the thing is knocked down, that can allow her to do a cool attack on the thing. Okay, so he goes all in for the buffs here. This actually is one of those things that makes Ken's presence here rather fortunate. He's loaded 2 bullets. Ken can just Deikaja that crap off, and I don't have to worry about it, so good stuff there. I made a good call. Pretty good stuff. Would have been better if the thing didn't get rid of its defense debuff, but still pretty solid damage. Alright, hit it with that. And, you know what? Let's see here. We, of course, got Quetzalcoatl, I know, comes in with Goddardine, so that's an easy way to exploit this weakness. Let's see how much damage that does. You know what? Just for fun, let's go for a King and I. Don't get too many opportunities to use this. Would have been much better if I was able to switch over to Black Frost, but you can't switch twice in one turn. Very unfortunate thing that you just have to deal with. May as well go for the Raccoonda here. Get a little bit more damage in once Aegis' turn comes back around. She's got 4 turns of Orgia mode to work with in this version of the game, so she has plenty of opportunities to absolutely annihilate this guy. Going for the charge there. That would be threatening if this fight was going to go on any longer than it is going to, but Aegis is about to hit this guy with some nasty damage right here. Boom. And then we can just have Ken top us off. And the protagonist can go in for the kill with Goddardine. Pretty simple fight. Not the cleanest team lineup I could have gone for, but it works out for what it is. Excellent stuff. You're gonna get a huge boost of experience here, although admittedly finishing with Quetzalcoatl at the front, kind of pointless since he has growth 3 anyway. Good amount of experience for everyone. We're looking pretty sturdy here. Nice! We took out a tough enemy. That win was all thanks to your instructions, Zeller-san. Oh, thank you. It was all you, Ken. You had the Deikaja there. Really? I'm happy you think so, but I think I'm a lot stronger fighting alongside everyone. Oh, sorry. That kind of came out of nowhere. It's just that I've always felt this way, so I wanted to tell you myself. Anyway, let's keep this up. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. The kid has faith in my abilities. I cannot let him down. Obviously, we've got some more chests over here. So, let's pop this sucker open. Did I get to level 47 yet? No. The next persona I'd like to fuse is at level 47. Obviously, open up another chest here. Somebody got to pop in and say, hey, I'd like to use this thing that you don't know what it does. Who should I get? Okay, no, it just decided that you don't deserve to see what it does. Let's see, I got this leg protector equipped with warding shoes. Endure dark, not really. I feel like that would be a net loss. Alright, let me change up my team lineup, and we're actually going to continue exploring, because again, we've got more bosses to deal with in Persona 3 Reload. We'll cut the video once we're done with that. Most of the rest of this video is probably going to be Reload content. Onward and upward. Our next boss will be on floor 132. I actually wrote down all the floors that I can expect to encounter things on this time. Consecutive battles really test your endurance, but it's such a relief when it's all over.
Oh, there's a treasure chest.
Okay, continuing on over here. I thought that full thing was going to be voiced, and I just wanted to let Fuka get her piece in, but no, that was unnecessary. Oh, hey, actually another new enemy here, Champion Knight. I believe this is mostly just a reskin of what we fought in the previous section of Tartarus. Okay, nice. Critical there. Honestly, we might actually, if we're lucky, be able to finish off with an all-out attack. If not, this guy is just weak to wind, so it's not that big a deal. Okay, yeah. With the Priestess Arcana card in effect, we're able to deal more than enough damage. Let's see, that would just level up Virtue, so let's go for the money. Big money. Easy money. I definitely do want a lot more money, and that is the one thing that is unfortunate about not getting the Justice card, is that it's going to be harder to split the difference between getting money and... Oh! Hey! Finally got an Ice Boost card. I'm going to have to dupe this up excessively. I was trying so hard to get one of those last times I was in Tartarus, but I just wasn't having any luck with it. Let me see here. I got Basuki. Yeah, I'll keep him set. Let's see here. Switch over to, or pop this open. Actually, I did use quite a bit of SP there. Let me, oh hey! Lock chest gets us a great clock. Very nice. So, let's get that taken care of. but I'm just thinking, yeah, actually, let me switch over to something that has Life Aid. We'll pop over to Seiryu and just have him go. I shouldn't really need the buffs going into any battles that I get into going forward, but let's pop into this Grand Clock real first, this Great Clock, and get some upgrades. I noticed that Yukari was relatively low-leveled, and Junpei would definitely benefit from this bonus, even though he's not the lowest leveled character. Let's see, we'll give Yukari that. Ken would be nice, but I can save him for another clock if we get lucky. It would get him an even bigger jump. I want to give this to Junpei. Obviously, Shinji would be a waste of it, since we're going to be using him the entire night anyway. Alright, let's see what our allies have to say. I'll quickly get them the level ups, and then I'll just cut back to my team that I intend to use for most exploration. Hey, just a sec. I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. If it's alright with you, I'd like to join you. Me too, me too! I feel like I've got tons of energy right now. Want to put me in the party? Absolutely. Let me get them a level real quick. Would just like to say I made a slight mistake with the Champion Knight. It's not wind, it's weak to dark. Actually, a little unfortunate that I made a mistake there, but fortunately I got Koga gems in reserve. Anyway, there are our level ups. Let's see what skills we get here. Diorama for Yukari, obviously very useful. Big get for her. Let's see, she can learn Poison Mist. You know what? We don't need Diorama. Let's be a little bit more interesting, get Poison Mist. Now, Amrita Drop, that's really useful. I'm probably never going to use Windbreak, so I'm actually going to drop that real quick. Ooh, nice, and she'll be learning Gatterdine at level 50. Let's see, Shift Boost for Junpei. I'm never going to use Maragi, really, so we'll put that in there. And he's going to learn Gigantic Fist soon, which will be a huge power spike for him once he gets to level 47.
Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
I'll try my best, Yukari. Anyways, we don't have a teleporter on this floor, so let's just continue onward. We've already fully explored it, so I'm not going to bother killing that enemy there. Once we get to a teleporter, I'll double back and get Akihiko and Mitsuru back in. For right now, though, we're stuck with Yukari and Junpei, but they're looking pretty solid at this moment, so works out well enough for us. Oh, hey, actually, another new enemy here. Let's see, we've got the Writhing Tiaras. Let me just check real quick. These guys are weak to dark, so we just have to, hopefully, oh, unfortunate. If I looked just a little bit more down, I would have seen that they reflected Pierce. My bad, Yukari. Oh, come on, that is so obnoxious. Fortunately, I think I've got one more Eiga Gem, or at the very least a Curse Paper. Nope, Eiga Gem. Now actually hit. There we go. Hate it when the game just decides to be like, nope, you ain't hitting. Junpei could fish for a crit, but honestly, he's kind of struggling with that right now, because even with Critical Amp, I don't have any crit boosting accessories for him, and the moves he does have don't have very good critical modifiers. Junpei is definitely a bit more of a late bloomer in comparison to Aigis and Shinji, though. It isn't super obvious from the start of the game where he's quite good to begin with, but yeah, it's a little rough for him at this stage of the game. Let's see, Maega or Money? Ooh, that's or no, actually, you know what, free Lover's Persona. Again, I've got so many fusions that I want to do, and I'd love to get the compendium up to 50%, and then 60% right after, so we'll just grab as many things as that I can to use as fusion material. Obviously want to also grab just, you know, conventional materials, if I can get them, in order to sell them off. We need tons of money, loads of money. And generally, coin cards are one of the less effective ways to get a lot of money.
Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
Indeed, indeed. I got my Persona stock filled out there, so next time we head back, I'll probably also take an opportunity to do some fusion. Have I reached level 47 yet? No. It's funny, like, the level curve in this game, it does go a lot faster than Persona 3, FES, and Portable, but at the same time, it feels like you get so much less experience. Is that... definitely a shadow, but this is the first I've seen of its type. Wonder what she was talking about there. What? Hey! Did it just steal the treasure?
What?
Huh? What the? I lost a signal from one of the treasure chests. Could it be a shadow snatching up treasure on this floor? Well, come on, let's go. It's on now. Could it be attracted to the loot somehow? Oh! The shadow's on the move now. It's headed your way. Brace for combat. I like the little skittering this guy does. Skit. Hey, you gotta get your filthy hand, well, your filthy body, off of that treasure. It seemed like some kind of rare shadow. Shocking size to it, though, right? Yet it got away. Given its size, I imagine defeating it would be well worth our while. What do you say, leader? You're kidding, right? Obviously we go after it, right? Yeah, let's hunt it down! Understood. Our target is fleeing at breakneck speed. You'll need to track it down quickly. You may encounter greedy shadows while exploring. These shadows amass items by looting treasure chests, so expect greater rewards for defeating them than rare shadows. Greedy shadows are always scampering helter-skelter, so catching them is a matter of luck. If you lose sight of one at a juncture, track them to the best of your ability. Even if one slips away, they will sometimes drop items. The more correct guesses you make on which way they go at the junctures, the more items they will drop. So yes, we've got greedy shadows, and they give us what kind of counts as a minigame, I suppose. So let's see, he hung out right here. Let's assume that he beat a left at this point. Now, like the game said, it is complete luck if you actually catch up to the greedy shadow or not. You're slowly catching up to the shadow. Hang in there. Okay, this time we're going to assume that it inverts its movement, and let's take a right instead. Possibly it'll get away from me, but we just have to hold out hope that we'll catch it. The shadow is slowing down, just a little more to go. Don't give up. I don't know if this first one forces you to, considering how far we've come, we have to catch up to it. This is the last one. Come on, let's do another left. Will we actually get it? Not sure. Remains to be seen. Shadow movement has stopped. It seems to hit a dead end. Let's hurry. Just keep going straight. And indeed, we have caught up to it. It is entirely possible to fail to catch the thing. We've caught the shadow. Now it's time to defeat it. It's so fast. We're taking it down right here and now. Now, fortunately, there is a way much later in the game that will allow you to defeat these guys guaranteed. Let's see here. I'm just going to charge up Yukari's Theurgy. I don't think this one is actually weak to anything in particular. You just want to hit it with the strongest attacks you have at your disposal. Here comes the Negaon. That's not the worst character you could use on. Shinji just no-sells everything. I think this is time to get some floor time for our good old friend Black Frost. I think he would get along swimmingly with this thing. Glorious stuff to see. You love to see it. You love to see it. If Junpei could get a critical hit here, that would also be nice, but it's not the kind of thing you can really count on, I'm afraid. Or he could just miss entirely. Okay. Shinji, show him how it's done. Oh, boy, Shinji, you're a man after my own heart. There we go. Check it out. I believe these guys take boosted damage from all-out attacks. Possibly they don't, but we're going to find out anyway. Usually I just blast. That's not great, but it is whatever. Let's scan it. Oh, whoops, Fuka. Oh wait, it's just weak to strike attacks? Okay. Well, that makes things a lot simpler then. Tarukaja on himself? That's not gonna help him too much. I just thought Shinji got a crit there. I didn't realize it was actually weak to anything. I'm gonna have to use some SP restoratives on Fuka once we're out of this fight. We'll, of course, use Herculean Strike of our own in order to take this one out. And instead of going for the all-out attack, we're going to pass to Shinji, and hitting this thing with a heat wave while it's down is just going to completely ruin its day. There we go. You love to see big numbers. Alright, what do we got here? I'm going to single target boost. Got plenty of those already. Yeah, I spent a lot of time duping up my really useful passives. But hey, there's the level 47 I've been hoping for. Hey, gigantic fist for Junpei. Could have used this a little sooner, but hey, better late than never. Now, when Junpei hits level 51, Marakukaja. Very, very useful. Greedy Shadow defeated. Nice job. Managed to recover the treasure it was hoarding too. Okay, Topaz, quality Nihil ore, just a bunch of accessories, and all sorts of goodies, and a ton of money. I'm beat, but I feel accomplished since it worked out in the end. At least I now have a full grasp of this floor's layout thanks to us chasing it down. I'll guide you to the stairs, and indeed, after you defeat the greedy shadow, you will get taken right to the stairs. You could explore the floor. Actually, we've got a rare shadow right behind me, so I'm just going to take this sucker out real quick. Indeed, Junpei, indeed. While I'm thinking of it, I noticed that Fuka's SP was quite low. You know what? We've got so much spinach in our disposal. Let's just give her 3 spinaches. It's good for you, Fuka. Just try not to develop kidney stones or anything. And let's have Yukari top off the party here. I suppose I could teleport back to the first floor, but we're so close to the next floor anyway. Let's just keep soldiering on. I'll get Akihiko and Mitsuru back in eventually. Sensing another strong presence. It's still a ways off, though. Okay, heading over this way. Gonna take out this enemy real quick. Hey, Monad door. And new enemy, let's see here. Killer Drive, this guy is weak to Strike and Elec. Bit of an interesting set of weaknesses there. Yukari can't really do too much against this thing, so we'll just have her defend, and then blast it with Zionga. Should allow us to just immediately take it out with a all-out attack. Haven't been getting too many Life Aid procs, unfortunately. Would like to get more of those so that I don't have to use any SP restoratives on the protagonist. As long as I can get nice, clean victories like that, it should be a matter, of course. That's a good amount of money for a 7 card. Usually you get around like 4,800 for those. Sorry, Shinji, did not mean to interrupt you. Hey, a Malice Magatama, very nice.
They're everywhere.
You know, Yukari and Junpei are getting a lot more floor time than I intended, but you know what? It's been a while since I've used them for just exploration purposes, I suppose. Last time I was using Yukari, I was just covering old ground and using her as a cheap way to restore my health. Alright, we've got another enemy over here. What I'm gonna do is actually just switch over to White Rider real quick and use a Sylphid Aura from Fuka to get buffs in place for everyone, except for Shinji, of course, who has Auto Heat Riser. By the end of this evening, we're actually going to have access to something that is going to go be our first step in invalidating Shinji's access to Auto Heat Riser. Let's get the Mataru Kaja going on the team. As always, just make sure you're going in as strong as possible. That's going to be a little bit perilous for Yukari. Yeah, she wasn't able to get the dodge. Ooh, the shock is the really unfortunate thing, though. Luckily, it's not doing anything too threatening. We can probably assume this thing is weak to wind. I might have Junpei use his turn to get the, No, actually, I can just have Yukari use Amrita drop on him. Alright, we're actually looking pretty good here. Let's just use the Amrita drop real quick. And I think I'll have Shinji just fire off his Theurgy to deal some good damage to this enemy. As we'll have Junpei go in for a Gigantic Fist. Here comes the Giant Fist. Nice, nice. And then I could Bloody Charge this, but we're not going to be able to pass the turn back to him. So why not just fire it off? If it does around 300 against the crit, it didn't, but that's not a big deal. We'll say, getting the shock on the protagonist there was super unlucky. Sometimes things just don't go your way. Do I want to switch to anything that... you know what? Yeah, let's see here. Quetzalcoatl, now he's not weak to Elec, so not anything I have to worry about. This is some nice big damage onto this thing here. No Dizzy, unfortunately. I could put Wind Boost on him, but I feel like that would be a waste of a card, honestly. Yeah, once again, Yukari fails to dodge. Not a huge deal, though. As long as this Tempest Slash isn't winged at her, and it wasn't, thanks to the random AI, she is fine. Let's just have her top off the party, and then we'll just wing physicals at it to finish it off. I already know what it's weak to, so it's not really worth my time to go for scanning it. It would just be a waste of Fuka's SP. There we go, Gigantic Fist to finish it off.
Good job, everyone.
Alrighty, what do we got here? Let's see, Hanuman, Sexy Dance. We'll take Hanuman, get some EXP for our Strength Personae. Specifically, particularly, that'll also get some EXP for White Rider, making him just a tad more effective. Now that we've gotten that taken care of, switch back to Seiryu, obviously. Do not want to ignore the value of having Life Aid in effect at all times. I don't sense any more treasure chests here. Still dangerous, so please try to come back as soon as you can. Alright, and head out into here. Get our fully revealed map now. Very helpful. And that'll also cover the next floor, so we're good to go there. Let me see, do we have a teleporter on this floor? No, we do not. I'll let these things live. We're actually coming up on a boss floor, so it's not even really worth it to go back to switch in Akihiko and Mitsuru at this point. We'll just continue on then. And there isn't a teleporter on this floor. Lots of treasure, though. Definitely glad to see that. Let's load up on all the treasure here. And grab that Kamimusubi water. We'll head over here and hit this guy with a sneak attack. I will always be happy when Junpei says that, for the record. Also got another enemy to take on here. You know, it's not really a sneak attack if I'm hitting them from the front, but the effect is similar.
Alright then, moving on.
I was gonna go for the all-out attack on that one, but Shinji just absolutely deleted it with Heat Wave when I passed to him, so yeah, it did not work out as I was hoping. We got a strong Shadow over there, which I want to take him out for the Emeralds, but for right now, I want to deal with all the things that I got right here.
Let's go.
You know, I did you a solid there and just took out all the enemies that were in the vicinity of the chest. Granted, I could have despawned some of them by opening the chest, but nah, I just want the experience and money at this point. At least the chance at money. I don't think I ever really specifically commented on that, but yeah, if you open a chest while a shadow is near it, it despawns them for some reason.
Shadow looks great. Aragaki-senpai's down. Are you okay?
Well, I just had a sudden degree of overconfidence as I got killed and lost a whole bunch of progress. Go me. Alright, in cutting back to FES, I have made it to floor 135, which is the apex of, well, okay, it's not the apex of where we can reach in Tizia currently, but it is the last floor with a boss, and it is one that is pretty infamous among this game's player base. One thing I'd like to note on before I get back to the, ground floor and have people start leaving me, because we got a couple of cases of tiredness here. One of them is not Ken, though. Also note he has a unique comment because we're on the boss floor. Ken has not hit tiredness, but he's level 43, and he has learned all his skills, supposedly, for the rest of the game. Only 5? Well, I mean, he's doing good enough with Keybalg anyway, so I guess that doesn't really matter. So let's just back off that and actually take a look at the characters that I do want to take a look at. Or rather, do want to comment on some particular things. Yukari is at level 40, and I would like to see her hit level 43 before the moon cycle is out, which should be doable enough on our second trip to Tizia, because I will be taking another trip back just for the purpose of training her. Medea Rama is a lot more situational than you might think in this game, but it is helpful to have regardless. And of course, let's take a look at Junpei here, who is not going to be pulling off any miracles when he's tired. We also want to get Junpei to a specific level, in this case level 44. Again, it should be relatively easy to get him there on a return trip, particularly if we can run into a bunch of Hakuro Mushas. That will come very, very quickly, but that's neither here nor there. The other thing to note is that I'm going to be doing some recording training for my party. Specifically, I'm going to bring in Akihiko and Shinji, and I'm going to let Ken rest for the rest of the night, because he's going to become tired anyway. So, I guess I'll bring along... I don't know who I'll really bring along, because it doesn't really matter. My main party going forward is going to be Akihiko, Ken, and Shinji, so I do want them to do pretty good, but for the immediate future, Junpei having Madaraku Kaja will be very handy, and it'll be a little bit before Shinji reaches his full potential. So I'm content to just train him independently until we get to the point where he really starts to take off. One other thing to note on. I have completed my enemy subjugation request, though I have not collected the medals from rare forms. I actually ran into 0 rare forms, which is pretty unfortunate, but not a big deal, because they appear more often when you make return trips anyway. The Empress's mirror is an interesting item. I see that you brought 5 of them with you, just as I requested, but I'm surprised that shadows would be so vain. Please accept your reward. And we get a Soma for our efforts. Very good reward, but that's not all. I see you brought 3 gold handguards as I requested. Thank you. They're perfect for use with a katana. Not many things are both beautiful and functional as these are. Please accept your reward, and we get a whopping 200k yen. Very nice. Now, that actually isn't that big a deal, because if we're lucky on payday floors where we get money from, the upper limit for yen that we can get from those is around 80k, although more often you'll see between 20k to 30k, and sometimes if you're unlucky you'll see like 3000k, but it is not all that out of the question that you might get really big paydays from some of the chests in Tizia, but that's neither here nor there. Let's cut back to reload to finish off the video, and like I said, in FES, I'll be doing a lot of off-screen training for my general leveling in the videos going forward. Well, with that embarrassing bit of hubris in my rear view, let's enter this monad door that's on floor 131 instead this time. Is this a new creature? As a matter of fact, it is. So this time around, let's take things a little bit more seriously. I'll admit I was kind of feeling myself there. Wasn't taking that strong shadow as seriously as I could have. But we're not going to make the same mistake twice in a single recording. Heading over here, we've got a Minotaur, and indeed, he seems like a worthy opponent. Let's take him on. Looks like this will be interesting. Let's go. Alright, what does this fellow have for us? Well, obviously we can't really see too much. I do kind of wish you got more information on what these things were capable of when you got right into the battle. He's going for a Heat Riser on himself. I'm not overly concerned about that, though I don't think I have a spare Deikasha gem. This would be something that, what is it? Ken would be quite good for. We do have a Debilitator Sutra, though. That would probably be a waste, though. We've got, Sukukaja in effect on ourselves, counteract his Sukukaja bonus, so instead we're just going to run through with counter debuffs, and this will get us back around to the protagonist's turn, and we can figure out what exactly we're dealing with when it comes to this guy. Let's have Shinji set up the Bloody Charge. If all goes well, we can just pass right back to him after hitting this thing's weakness, if it has one. And that should deal some pretty good damage. Okay, it is weak to fire. Unfortunately, Shinji actually does not have much at his disposal to work with here, so we're kind of reliant on the protagonist for a good damage. I did fuse around Agidine, but did I actually keep anything that has it? Nah, it's on Saki Nitama, which I'm going to have to pull it out of the compendium to recreate something that has that. So instead, we're just going to go with the Maraji on here. And what we can do to get some good damage onto this thing is that we can switch over to Mitsuru. Unfortunately, Shinji is just going to have to wait around until his Theurgy charges if I want to deal some good damage. If we're lucky, Mitsuru might freeze this thing here, which would be a big help, because that would make it vulnerable to physical attacks. Then I could go over to Shinji, and indeed it is frozen. I can hit it with a strike attack instead. Let me see here while I'm thinking. Nah, I'm not gonna hit Shinji with, healing there, because, honestly, does anybody even need healing? No, I don't want, Akihiko to do anything on this thing, because, that would, potentially, compromise the freeze status. I instead want to, pass it around. This actually is a very convenient turn order. I want to pass it around to Shinji, hit it with the Heat Wave. Because it's frozen, its, physical resistance is now overwritten. This should deal some pretty good damage here. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Gotta know about those situational things. That is one nice thing about Blizzard Edge. Its freeze chance is so high, and in mini-boss encounters like this, it is pretty consistent at hitting them with it. Especially once Mitsuru gets freeze boost, where the effect that has on Mitsuru makes it a 100% guarantee. Ooh, we're gonna get Bufudine onto Seiryu, which I'm actually really keen on. That's will generally be a bit more efficient for my purposes than Bufudine. Good stuff there, good stuff. Alright, let's head out here. We're going to get our map filled in. I'm just going to take a quick look to see if there's anything left I need to collect here. But I don't think there will be, so let's just release the energy out into the world. And yeah, there's nothing else to collect, just a bunch of enemies to deal with. And we're coming on the last leg for this Persona 3 Reload video. Getting, shall we say, a bit of a sneak preview here, though not exactly something that is comparable to what is present in Persona 3 FES and Portable. You'll see next time, though. For right now, though, let me do some preparations and actually fuse around a little bit. I'm only going to make one minor revision to my team lineup here. Before we get into the fight, we do have some quests that we can turn in, or at least a request that we can turn in. Let's get the rare shadow defeat here. Oh, it appears you've already completed it. Take this as a reward and get a bunch of topazes. We're actually pretty close to being able to fulfill these fusion requests here. Titania is level 49, Rhonda is level 50, and we're pretty close to in levels to that. I believe I'm at level 47 right now. Yeah, and once we hit level 49, we'll be able to make Titania. Level 50 will allow us to make Rhonda. Anyways, let me do some fusions here. Oh, hey, as soon as I got in here, the Persona Compendium is now half filled with registered personas. At first glance, it seems like a lot, but to think we're only just halfway. Once again, the potential you possess has left me in awe. Now, to show my appreciation for all your hard work, the cost to summon a persona from the Compendium will be discounted even further. I hope you'll make good use of it. I will. For some stuff I'm creating here, I'm going to create a Dominion. I'm not really going to go... This is Clotho and Dakini. Clotho I got from Shuffle Time, and I actually didn't have her previously, so that's helpful. I'm just using this for the sake of it. I'm going to pull Dakini back out of the Compendium, but may as well get some good stuff onto this thing while I'm thinking of it. I'm going to immediately turn around and fuse this guy into Kaiwan here. Does Kaiwan have anything I care about? Nobody other than multi-target moves. To create Kurama Tengu. Alright, after enough miscellaneous fusion, I have found the guy that I am looking for, Hecaton Kairis. This guy learned something very important, but I want to see if I have a better way to fuse him. I would like to be able to create him with the Growth 3 skill, which isn't looking too likely here. But I can do another fusion that I was planning on. Need Ogre here. This guy I'm going to put Growth 3 and Life 8 onto. Don't plan to do anything too fancy with him, but I will give him some of these, actually no, not Auto Rakukaja. Gonna put Auto Sukukaja here. And this is our first Aeon persona. It'll be a very long time before we form the Aeon social link, but this is a new arcana that was added in Persona 3 FES. It did not originally exist in the vanilla release of Persona 3, and I thought it would just be interesting to show it off now. But can I fuse this guy into Hecaton Kairis? No. I think I'm just going to have to go with the one that I can get, so let me just take a close look at this. Would have liked to get this guy with Strike Boost, but that's not a big deal.
This would be...
Actually, I wasn't looking very closely here. I can fuse him into White Rider, who I just recently registered, and that will allow me to get him with Growth 3. So let's actually do that, and I'll take all the buffing skills here. But there is a very particular reason I want this guy fused with Growth 3. So let's actually watch this one play out here. So once Hecaton Kairis has been created, he's of course going to get a bunch of level ups from our social link and the Lover's tarot card being in effect. Get Heat Wave here, which is why I would like a Strike Boost onto him, but it isn't a big deal. Evade Strike is useless on this guy when he already resists it. But as you can see, at level 53, he's going to get Auto Marakukaja. That'll be a huge benefit. If I had just one more level in the Hangman social link, that would have unlocked immediately, but that's not a big deal. Alright, I think that's basically everything that I want to fuse right now. Obviously, I'd like to do more fusions in the future, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to pull all the things I fused out back out of the compendium, which is going to be a little bit pricey, but hey, we just got that discount in order to make that a little bit more tenable. Alright, with all that taken care of, I decided to bring in Koromaru. He doesn't have his Theurgy in the tank, but it'll still be fun to make use of him. Also, I need to recover Fuka's SP here. She is doing rough on that. Fortunately, plenty of soul spinaches in reserve. Let's see here. And, you know what, have some coffee as well, Fuka. Ken worked so hard on it. Actually, even just at its basic level, it's 100 SP back, which is not terrible in the slightest. Let's, of course, use a Diorama here, and we're prepared to go into this battle. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Same, Koromaru. Alright, what do we got to deal with on this guy? Koromaru is starting us out, so we may as well just begin with a Getsue here. See if we get lucky and deal a critical hit here. It'll deal decent damage because we are right on the full moon. Ooh, I brought the worst person possible to this. The homunculus sacrificed itself, but it still gets a free turn. Oh, God. Yeah. Aragaki, they're just, with Shinjiro. Sorry, I get mixed up when I see all these different names being thrown at me. Brought just about the worst person possible to this fight, I'm afraid, which is it's not really that fun to see, but oh my god, I've got so many things that are light weak, including my guys who have my oh, actually, wait, White Rider is not. Okay, that puts us in a much better position here. Shinji is, of course, going to immediately get his Theurgy charged up. Let's make use of some of the items that we have here. Let's see, we've been getting so many of these Kami Musubi waters. We'll make use of them right now. Now, if we're lucky, this thing will be weak to darkness. It would have been nice if I could have gotten the Bloody Charge onto Shinji there, but you can't expect everything. Okay, so it has no weaknesses, so what we're actually going to do here is just have Koromaru guard. Okay, Masakunda. That's fine. We're already Tsukikaja'd up, so all that's accomplishing is making things a little less helpful for us. Let me see here. I'm gonna go for Lightning Spike here. There's a chance to shock it, which would be beautiful for Shinji's Theurgy, if we could get that in effect. Did not get the shock there, but that's okay. Now let me look around here. We don't have anything that this thing is super weak to, and unfortunately Black Frost does not have Resist Light yet, so that's too much of a risk to go for. Let me see, Dakini, not weak to light skills, and She does have her strike boost and her crit boost and multi-target boost, but no, that's it's immune to strike attacks. I'm already forgetting what I should be doing. You know, let's see here. How about Osei? Now he's weak to light. God, I just have like the worst setup possible for this specific fight. That is so tragic, so sad, so sad. Let me see here. Just thinking, what would be a good thing to use against this thing? Well, you know what? Actually, let's stick with White Rider here and just use Poison Arrow. Why not? Okay. Do I want to go for the Bloody Charge on Shinji, or do I just want to go right into his attack? You know what? Yeah, actually, let's Bloody Charge up, and then we can just have Kodomaru use a healing item on us, and that should do us fine. I mean, there is always the off chance that Kodomaru is going to get nailed with Hamon again, which is just something that I kind of have to accept is a possibility to happen. And I love how I always just strategically bring the worst characters. Here comes Mahama. That's frustrating, but fortunately the protagonist is guarded. Kodomaru had the homunculus cover for him. He's going to get hit again. And he's just taken out entirely, which is frustrating, but we've got Bombs of Lives. Get back in here, boy. I know, it's a little frustrating. It's definitely frustrating for me as well. I was not expecting this. You know what? I'm going to go for a little bit of a risky play here. I'm going to switch over to Black Frost, and I'm going to use King and I. We've got Shinji bloody charged up, so his Theurgy is going to deal some serious damage to this thing. Yeah, okay, this will definitely finish it off. Shinji, if you would do the honors, please.
I'm ready. This is it. See you in hell.
Oh, enemy defeated.
Well, that was an absolute disaster, and I lost a bunch of homunculi needlessly. All of them, in fact. But look at that. Hecaton Kairis just got his level up. Now he has Auto Marakukaja. I definitely want to fuse him into something that will has the other auto buffs, so that I have some self-targeting buffs plus a team buff. Akihiko especially is going to love that, because now his Theurgy condition will be fulfilled every time we enter a battle. Looks like we're done here. You're better than I thought. I can see why Aki hyped you up. Well, thanks so much, and you're no pushover yourself, Shinji. Well, yeah, I can't afford to be holding back either. Let's get going. Not one to take compliments, I see, but that's okay. He lets his actions speak for him. This is where we're going to call the video for now, although obviously in my recording, hey, Power Incense 3, that's got Aegis' name on it. In my recording, I'm obviously going to be going a lot longer, but for this video in particular, this is where we're going to be calling it. Ooh, nice new axe for Shinji here. Let's pass that off to him and see what it does for him. Good choice. I'll see that you don't regret it. Let's see indeed. What does this have for him? Gaia's Grace? Damage on downed enemy. Ooh, very nice. He's gonna love that going forward. But this is where we're gonna call it a video here. When we return, we'll be picking up our expedition in Persona 3 Portable and making our way to one of the most infamous bosses in the game in Persona 3 FES and Portable. Look forward to it. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.